As humans, we feel a wide variety of emotions, from happiness to sadness to anger, and there's more complicated types, such as frustration or anxiety. We feel all sorts of different emotions, but in my opinion, there are two emotions that are more complicated than the rest: love and grief. In my opinion, however, love is the most complicated emotion. You've probably felt love before in your life, and possibly even for multiple people. You feel love differently for who you love. Hopefully, you love your family, and you love your friends, but the love you have for your family isn't the same type of love that you have for your friends. You love your animals, but not in the same way that you love your family or friends. And the most important part here is, if you have a significant other, you love your significant other in a completely different way than you love anyone else. I've had two relationships in my entire life that I can sincerely say I loved the person I was with. And in both of those relationships, I felt the strongest emotion of love that I could possibly feel, but in two widely different ways. And I find this impressive, as one of them, although the girl lived 5 miles away from me, was during COVID, and we saw each other twice in a year. And the other one, we lived 700 miles apart. I'm gonna go a bit more into depth about the girl who lives 700 miles away, as she's my ex. Back in November of 2021, I began talking to her on Discord quite a bit. I'd known her for a few months, but I'd been talking to her more and more and more, and on November 17th, me and her decided to get together. While we were together, I began realizing I didn't just like this girl, I didn't just love this girl, I was in love with this girl. And I fell harder than I'd ever fallen for anyone up to that point. And during the relationship, I have felt the greatest that I think I'd ever felt in my life. I felt good about myself. I carried myself around confidently. I portrayed a confident and smart attitude, and I was who I wanted to be, and I felt accomplished in my life. And on January 8th of this year, me and her split up. And it wasn't my choice. She was the one that decided to end it. And it was for a lot of complicated reasons, as most relationships seem to be. And it broke me. I felt like crap, and even though it wasn't my fault, it felt like my fault, and I beat myself up over it more than I should have. And in the latter half of January, me and her talked about getting back together, and it didn't work out. In the end, we just decided to stay friends. And that's okay, I can do that. But in late February, me and her had an argument, our first big argument. And although it seemed okay, and like everything had been resolved, 2 days after the argument, she blocked me. On everything. She ghosted me. This feeling's one of the worst feelings I've ever felt. And being ghosted by someone that you loved so much and that you cherished so much at one point and that you cared about in so many different ways, it breaks you. Because I didn't know what I did wrong. I don't know why she decided to stop talking to me. And I lost not just someone that I loved, but I lost my best friend at that point. I lost the person that meant the most to me in life, even if she was my ex. And now, I know a lot of people will easily shove this off and say, oh well, you can do better than her, you can do better than this, but that's not the way that I see things. There's a reason behind every person's action, and every action changes your life. And so, here I am. I just uploaded the Pokémon but God stole my iPhone video. And I was demotivated, and I was confused, and at this point I was going through the 5 stages of grief. Because I first denied the fact that she'd even ghosted me. And then I was angry about why she would ghost me when I was someone that genuinely cared about her. I tried to bargain, I tried to find ways to message her, and then I entered the 4th stage of depression. I felt horrible, and over the past few months, I have kept that in my mind and in my soul. I'd walk around, and I'd feel bad. And I could never quite place my finger on why I felt this way, other than I knew it was something with the fact that my ex had ghosted me. In early April, my stepmom asked me if I wanted to go on a trip to Florida on June 1st. And it took less than 2 seconds of her saying that sentence for me to instantly agree. And there was multiple reasons behind this decision, not just going on vacation, not just seeing some of her family, not just hanging out and taking a break from reality around where I live, but my ex lived in Florida. And for some reason, the thought of me going to the state that my ex lives in filled me with anxiety and with confidence at the same time. Where I stayed over the week I was in Florida, I was about 100 to 200 miles away from my ex. The closest that I'd ever been to her. I probably could have met her in real life. I probably could have spoken with her. I probably could have hung out with her for a day. But because she ghosted me, it showed she didn't want to hang out with me, and it killed any chance of that there was. And so the footage you're seeing is footage that hopefully is from Florida, unless I'm running out of footage, because that's also a possibility. And while in Florida, something in my mindset changed, and I entered the 5th and final stage, acceptance. I had accepted that she ghosted me. I accepted she didn't want anything to do with me, and I'd finally realized that after 4 months of thinking about her, she probably hadn't thought about me once, and that I need to pull my head out of the gutter, and I need to keep my head up, because I need to realize that I'm 16, and she's one person in this world. And even though I cared about her so much and everything, I need to move on. I need to focus on myself. I need to try and do great things to get the goals I have in life done. I cannot have someone that I don't even talk to anymore holding me back. And the rest of that trip, instead of feeling anxious and constantly checking over my shoulder to see if she was anywhere near me, even though we were 100 to 200 miles away from her, I felt relief. I felt happy for the first time in months. And now that my mind is clear, I'm here able to finally make this video that I've wanted to make for 4 months. And it's taken me script after script after script, to the point where I've scrapped the scripts on this video, and I'm talking off the top of my head. It's taken me so many attempts at trying to get the story across and at trying to talk about what love is, because it's something that's so different and unique and special. I've accepted what's happened and I'm moving on. This is my video to move on from this, from everything that's happened. This is to show not just myself and not just the world, but maybe possibly even her, if she was to find this video one day or if someone was to send it to her. I'm not going to explicitly say who she is. And I don't mean any hate whatsoever towards her, because I still genuinely care about her, and I know that could be considered a toxic trait, that I care about people who most certainly don't care about me. But I want her to know, if she ever sees this, I want her to know the door is always open to talk to me. And so although she may never see this, and although she may never want to talk to me again, the door is open for her, because I finally accepted what's happened, and I'm finally ready to move on. And now that I've told you my story, I can talk more about the love and the heartbreak that I felt. Because the love that I felt with the previous girl that lived 5 miles away from me was so different and so unique compared to the love that I felt to the girl that was 700 miles away from me. And sure, you can say the difference is IRL and online, but I don't think that's true. I think the difference is they're two completely different people, and I loved them in 2 completely different ways. And that is just one of the many reasons why I find love so fascinating. And not everyone feels romantic love like this, but I'm pretty sure every person in this world has felt some sort of love for someone or something. But let me know your thoughts on love in the comments down below, because it is one hell of a complicated emotion. The main point of this video is over. I just want to talk for a second, and I'm serious. It's been almost 4 months since I uploaded, and I have struggled to find videos I've wanted to make. I've struggled to gain the motivation to make videos, and I've struggled because this video right here is the one thing that I wanted to be able to make for so long, and my trip to Florida and everything else finally gave me the ability to make this video. Thank you for watching. To my family that's watching this, my family members, I hope you enjoyed the Florida views, as well as my personal views. I can't wait for my family to pick on me about this stuff, because, oh my god, you're feeling all this stuff. To my friends who are watching this, whether you be an online friend or a IRL friend, thank you for being my friend. Thank you for sticking here with me, and thank you for talking with me, playing games with me, doing all sorts of things with me. You mean so much more than you'd ever know, because my friends and my family are the world to me. And to my ex, who I used to call my princess, the door is always open if you ever choose to open it.
What's that?
How do I even approach it?
With your mouth?